Our parents, hearing from them, many of us heard it directly from our grandparents, how they had this Mesiras Nefesh. As we heard, this camp, so much chesed was done. My grandmother used to tell us how much chesed on a Shabbos they would make them have to work, but they would cover up for each other, and they would do the extra work on a Friday. And everyone was out to look for, they looked for each other. They didn't think about themselves, especially in this camp. And we hear about the matzahs that they ate. They lit the menorahs when they could light the menorah. They blew the shofar when they could blow the shofar. How did they have that courage to do that? I recently read a story, and I think this is the message that we will have to take with us as we head into Shavuos. There was a woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, told to go out naked, not wearing any clothing, rolling in the snow. The Nazis just wanted to see them suffer. They were in the snow for 16 hours, freezing to death. They finally are let back into the barracks without any clothes, and they needed to create their own heat. So they made a pyramid. They 4 bodies on the bottom, 3, 2, 1, and they were going to move around. There was one on the bottom row that said to everybody on top, "Does anybody know Masechtas Beitza?" I know Masechtas Beitza. We're going to learn Masechtas Beitza now, keeping each other warm. And he started to say Masechtas Beitza, Be'esh Shenolda B'Yontif. And each one's listening, adding throughout the night. Where did they get the koyach to do that? Suffering under such intense pressure from the Nazis, and they're learning at such a time. As we head into Shavuos, Hashem takes the mountain, Kaifan Alei and Har Kegigas. The moment of Kaifan Alei and Har Kegigas, Hashem says to the Bnei Yisrael, there are going to be times in your life that you're going to be about to die. You're going to be forced to do things you don't want to do. The mountain over Kal Yisrael's head, there was no air. The Ben Yehoyada says it was like a bottle, gigas. It's like a vat. They didn't breathe. Bnei Yisrael, are you going to learn the Torah then? Do you still want the Torah, knowing that in the history, throughout history, you're going to suffer to no end? And the Bnei Yisrael said yes, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, because if not, it's not worth the Jewish life. I need them to be Meiser, and they were willing, and they were Meiser Nefesh. And at that moment, there was such a kiruv. The Baal HaTanya and others write, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the mountain Kaviyachal and gave us a hug, and said, in the most difficult times, you're going to feel closer than ever. And that's how they survived the war, feeling closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu than ever in the most difficult times. When we go through our difficult times in our life, we now know that they're not difficult. Whether it's Parnasa, even dealing with children, dealing with other parts of our life, whether it's Shalom Bayis, we now have gone the last 3 days, we know that that's not what Sarisa mean. That's life. And we have to remember what we've spent the last 3 days. We were given that opportunity to see how they connected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the most difficult times. We inherited that. It's in our DNA, especially hearing all those that said the bracha. We are those children. We have it in ourselves to be Meiser Nefesh, to connect to Hashem. If we just spend a few minutes thinking about, we went on a trip to get closer to Hashem. That's why we came on this trip. Through these 3 days, we have now bonded with Hashem, heading into Matan Torah. We say this year we are lucky. And we have that Akaras Hatay. We'll speak about it tonight, maybe by Safar. We thank Hashem for giving us the opportunity to come in, because we wanted to feel their tsar, because we want to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way they connected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we will be Zaycha, because our parents were Meiser Nefesh for each one of us. They lived their lives because they wanted to see their children. They loved their children. They didn't want to leave go of their children. We don't want to leave go of our children. We spend more time with our children now. We learn with our children now. We tell them over the stories that we've heard over the last few days. We let them be a part of the lives that we just lived. We come home and we tell our wives what an experience it was. It wasn't just a journey. It wasn't just a shul trip. It changed every one of our lives. We've lived together as a chabura now. We've spent the time feeling the pain. we are going to grow from this, handing this over to the next generation, never letting them forget the Mesiras Nefesh. As we head into Matan Torah, right now, we spoke this morning about Kabbalas HaTorah, the Ramah. We should all now say HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are ready. Naaseh v'nishma. We're going to accept the Torah under the most difficult circumstances, no matter what happens in our day, no matter what's going on in our life. We're going to take out that Mishnayos. We're going to take out that Gemara. We're going to learn with our child. We're going to show the love to our child. We're making a stand against the Nazis. Yimach Shemoy v'zichroi. We're living with the Torah. We're going to go on. We're going to live b'simcha. We had an opportunity to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu these last few days. We take that with us. We take that hug with us. We now will say the Kelmalei Rachamim. We're going, first let's say a kapitel Tehillim for all those neshamas. We'll say a Kelmalei Rachamim. We will then say a Kaddish, and we're going to head to the barracks. Oh, where's Yitzhak?
Rabbi Yitzchak. Hasn't throat.